What's going on, Jerome's? Unfortunately for the Minnesota Vikings, it's almost off season, and head coach Mike Zimmer probably gonna be out of a job. But we're gonna look ahead on the NFL head coaching openings and potential openings, like openings that are probably going to come open. And there's always a shocker or two in there, but there really might only be 5 to 6 head coaching changes this offseason, which is highly unusual. Usually it's about a quarter of the league getting churned over, but we're going to project 8 because we're going to throw in some shockers in there as well and rank them because, why the hell not? First up at number 8, the Ocho. The New York Football Giants. Now, Adam Schefter is reporting that Joe Judge and Daniel Jones will be there. I don't know. Just the embarrassment that Joe Judge has had the last couple weeks in that weird rant. It's like, hey, people calling me, they want to come back. Baloney, man. And Big Blue, like we've said this in the power rankings, since their Super Bowl wins in 2007, 2011, for the past decade, they are the worst team in the National Football League. Worse than the Jets, worse than the Jaguars. It's amazing, man. Like, Giants fans, they do deserve better. But it's a tough spot to win. You're going to be in that pressure cooker of the New York media and everything that goes with it. You have fans that have high expectations. You're going to be tethered to Daniel Jones for a year. So, I don't know. You do have an extra first-round pick because of the Justin Fields trade from the Bears, so that's a bonus as well. Plus, Gettleman is going to be out, so you and the new GM are going to be tied at the hip. So, I mean, I guess it's not the worst job in the world, but it certainly is not the best. I mean, it's 1 to 32. But for us, it's at the bottom. 7, so you have the Seahawks, where Pete could retire, right? He's getting up there in age. Pete's 70. Do you know that? It's so weird because he has such youthful energy, but he was old AF at USC. But so the Seahawks, they're going to be bad for a while, man. They're going to be rough. So they gave away picks because of the Jamal Adams trade. John Schneider has not been good drafting recently or at all. Like ever. Russ wants out of town. He wanted out of town last offseason. Now he's going to get it this offseason. And without Russ, without Lockett, this team is an XFL team. Like, they're a mess in both trenches. And I don't know. Like, So the ownership isn't a trust. Unfortunately, Paul Allen passed away a couple years ago. But so you don't know who the owner's going to be. They may sell it. They may just stay the course. John Schneider's not a great GM. And if he stays on, there's no guarantee that he's going to be there long term. So he could hire you this year, be fired next year, and then you have a new GM who did not hire you. So that puts your job in great jeopardy. Plus, you're in the NFC West with the Rams and the Cardinals and the Niners, so it's a very tough division. You have no idea who your quarterback is going to be. It's not going to be Russ. And what are you going to do? It's a really rough spot. I actually might put that below the Giants. Actually, let's do that. A Yankee Swamp. XL Wizard. Next up, number 6. You got the crooked Chicago Bears. Now, the only reason why this is 6 and not 7 or 8 is because of Justin Fields. You have your quarterback, potential quarterback of the future in place, so it's also good. But, I mean, what else is there? Like, the Bears ownership, notoriously cheap. It's really tough to operate there. And what else is there? Darnell Mooney, Khalil Mack is getting up there in age. Akeem Hicks is getting up there as well. Cheeseburger Eddie Jackson took a big step back. Jalen Johnson, yes, but can his shoulders actually stay healthy? So, I mean, you're probably going to lose Allen Robinson as well because he was on the franchise tag. So, there's really not a lot there that you're really going to be pumped up about. Montgomery, a little bit, sure, but, I mean, it's rough. That is really rough. 5. Oh, plus you have to be in division with the Vikings. Woo! Right, man. Keeping skull alive. 5. You got the Panthers. So this would be the shocker, mainly because Matt Rule signed a fat ass contract, man. But ownership, David Tepper, he wants to win, and he wants to win now. And it's already been a mess for 2 seasons in Carolina, and they've already gotten rid of Joe Brady, the OC. So I don't know. They might fire Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule could go back to college. I think that he was a great college coach at Baylor and Temple, but yeah, they may just rip the Band-Aid off because Tepper, he's not worried about money. Like, he's worried about winning. He's worried about class. So that's a plus. You have a great owner down in Carolina. Plus, you have a lot of really fun young players. McCaffrey, if they hang on to him. DJ Moore is going to be a stud in this league. Brian Burns has quietly become one of the best edge rushers in the game. Their defense, top to bottom, is young, fast, and fun. So, I mean, there's a lot to like in Carolina except for the quarterback position. But I do think that they could potentially be in the derby for Deshaun Watson. I think that the Panthers have shown that they're ready to take the slings and arrows that will come with that. So maybe they do that. So you have Deshaun Watson, because I don't think he's going to Miami anymore, because I think Tua has shown enough to show that he's the guy down in South Beach. But so Deshaun Watson's off the field stuff aside, just on the field, if you add him into the mix, this bumps up Carolina. But since it's a variable, we don't really know. 4, you got the Raiders. Vegas, you got the brand new stadium. Downside is you will never have home field advantage. Also, I don't know if Mike Mayock's going to be long for that job either. So you may be walking in with a new GM. Also, if Mayock stays for a year and hires you, it's the same thing with John Schneider and the Seahawks. Maybe he'll be gone after a year. I don't think that Mark Davis and Raiders ownership is the strongest in the league. But you do have Derek Carr, who played way above his skis this year. And you might have Devontae Adams, who probably is not going to be back in Green Bay. Of course, Derek Carr and Devontae, they played in college. They're BFFs. They want to get back together. So that would be a plus, even though Devontae Adams is not as good as Justin Jefferson. I caught myself. I was actually, if Adams goes to Vegas, I will sing his praises, man. I'll do that. But like we said, you'll never have home field advantage, but you do have some decent young pieces around on that team. But, man, Mack has been really bad at drafting. I mean, let's be honest. He's just been horrible. But what are you going to do there? Next up, 3, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Shad Khan is a very patient owner, and he will invest in the team. So that is a bonus. But patient owner, except for when you're a moron like Urban Meyer. You do have Trevor Lawrence. I do think that he still could progress to be a great quarterback in this league. You do have some young, fun weapons. I love me some Laviska Shenault, James Robinson. You have Travis Etienne coming back from injury. They do have some pieces on defense as well, led by Josh Allen. You have a top 2 pick, potentially the number 1 overall pick in back-to-back years. You could add Thibodeau. You could add Aiden Hutchinson. You could do a lot of things in that spot. So just imagine Josh Allen and Thibodeau or Hutchinson. Whew, let's go, man. And also, Duval fans are great. No state income tax in Florida, so there's a lot to like there. Plus, well, the Patriots are sort of back. The Bills are sort of back. Well, that's not even that division. Sorry, I'm thinking about Florida. I'm thinking about Florida. I'm thinking about the East. But in the AFC South, you got the Tennessee Titans, who are solid. The Colts are solid. The Texans, not quite there yet. So you do have a very winnable division as well, plus weather. I mean, if that factors in, it's really good. So that's why Jacksonville is up there at 3. Just had a brain fart there. Is that Rona? Is that you, Rona? Number 2. Got the Broncos. So you got Cortland Sutton. You got some weapons there. On defense, you have Chubb, you have Simmons, you have PS2. So you do have some great pieces. Vic Fangio just massively underachieved in this spot. Now, you're a quarterback away. Yeah, Teddy's not the guy. Drew Lock is obviously not the guy. But, the Broncos are a prime, beautiful spot for all the reasons that we listed to land an Aaron Rodgers, to land a Russell Wilson, to land a Kirk Cousins. I think George Payton is going to be one of the best GMs in this league. I loved and respected him here with the Vikings. That's why I think Denver, Sunshine State, gorgeous. It's beautiful. That's not a brain fart. That's a reference to something else. And, of course, number 1, you got the Minnesota Vikings. Woo! That's right, man. Stable, hands-off ownership. Rick Spielman, he may be here, he may not be here. So you may be walking in with a new GM, but respect to Rick Spielman. He has been great at accumulating talent on this team. Rob Brzezinski always keeps the team in good financial shape, so that is a plus. You have Justin freaking Jefferson, who is quickly becoming the best young wide receiver in the game. You have Dalvin Cook, who still has some tread on the tires. You have Thielen, who has a couple of decent years left. You have KJ Osborne as well. You have this offensive line that is getting together a nucleus. Defensively, maybe you'll have Danielle Hunter back. You'll have Kendricks back. Harrison still has some decent football left in him. You do have stable ownership, like we mentioned. So this is a good spot, but the only question is the quarterback position. Kirk Cousins in the final year of his deal. Will he be back? Will he be traded? Don't know. I don't know what you think about Kellen Mond. The Vikings will be drafting in the top 12. And, well, in all likelihood, we'll say top 15 just to be safe. And this is a weird year for quarterbacks because there isn't a guy that you can say 100% is going to be a top 5 selection for a quarterback. And it's not that year. But you could still see 3 or 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. You could still see, 6 go in the top 75 or so of the selections. And of course, this will all go upward as offseason goes along and the quarterback tax gets incorporated in. But you could essentially choose your quarterback of the future. It could be Kellen Mond. You could go get your own guy. You could do both and just have them compete, which competition is never a bad thing, right? So I think that Minnesota is phenomenal. It's a good spot. So there we go. That's it. That's our thoughts. What are your thoughts on our thoughts ranking the NFL potential head coaching openings? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.